Today we're going to talk about the most disgusting spread ever created, something so foul that it has divided opinions for generations and even been banned in Denmark. But before we get into that, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Say sponsor, but we're new, so we don't actually have one. Instead, I'm going to tell you about our favourite charity, Operation Florence. Formed by a lovely bunch of ex and currently serving healthcare and emergency service personnel who see the decline in funding and gaps in capability as a real problem. They're working to build a volunteer-based emergency medical rescue and healthcare service that they hope one day have locations across the country. To do this, they need funding. I know it's kind of ironic, but there it is. But they're awesome, and we want to help them. So if you can spare £3 once or monthly, added to your phone bill, you can donate by text. Or if you prefer, you can even donate by PayPal. You can even donate more than £3 or nothing at all. It's entirely up to you. Details how you can donate or not, or how to find out more about these amazing people, will be pinned in the description below. With all of that said, let's get into it. Today we're discussing something that I find so disgusting that the mere mention of it raises my blood pressure. If I believed in the devil, I would say that he had something to do with it. But I don't believe in the devil. I do, however, believe in demons, and I'm pretty sure that what we have here, what we're talking about, is jarred demon jizz. And there's a lot of demons, so that would explain how they're managing to sell 50 million jars of this stuff every single year. We are, of course, talking about Marmite. Yeah. Now, to be honest, I've actually learned something researching this. I was always under the impression that Marmite was actually congealed gravy or jellied stock, to use another term, or at least that's how they were trying to hide the fact that it's demon jizz. Fact is, I was wrong. Honestly, it's worse than that. Yeah, it's also kind of interesting. The basis for today's Marmite was first made in Germany in the late 19th century by a chap called Justus von Liebig, who discovered that you can eat the yeast-based waste product of brewing beer. Yeah, rubbish, sludge. Now, history books tell us that Justus here was a scientist, and I agree that following this discovery in later years, he probably was classed as that. But the question has to be asked, why was he eating rubbish? I mean, who the hell looks at sludge left over from beer brewing and think it's a tasty soup? I mean, seriously, the man was a fucking oboe, or just plain old-fashioned nuts. Well, as it turns out, he was probably just a bit nuts. Justus von Liebig is actually a very renowned scientist, known as the father of agricultural fertilizers, and the man who devised the manufacturing method for beef extract, forming the company Liebig Extract of Meat Company. This is literally the guy that invented the OXO cube. And this to me, this is more proof that demons are involved somewhere, because this is a guy that he invented the OXO cube. You know, that square little cube that's wrapped in tin foil that you've got to try and open it up and get it in your stew or your bolognese, and there's always a bit of that bloody tin foil that goes in your food, isn't there? Yeah, that's the guy. That is the guy. Now tell me demons weren't involved. I'll tell you you're wrong. Anyway, kind of digressing. So a genius that found the sludge from beer brewing tasty, you be the judge. I mean, later, in 1902, the Marmite Food Company was established in Burton-upon-Trent, England, adjacent to the Bass Brewery, giving it an abundance of beer brewing waste product to jar and try and sell. And well, to begin with, things were pretty slow. They trudged along, jarring sludge, and pretty much ticked over. They won some awards, but they were ticking over, and by now they had devised what they had. They knew it was a fortified yeast product rich in B vitamins and had grown enough to have a second factory in Camberwell Green in London. But they hadn't broken through the way they wanted. That was until 1912 and the advent of World War I. You see, with World War I came a big problem for the Allied forces. How do they solve the problem of vitamin B deficiencies in the trenches, in particular beriberi disease? Now, it's a not so nice condition that can actually affect the cardiovascular system and nervous system and cause muscle wastage, and it's caused by vitamin B deficiency. Well, Marmite stepped up with the answer and found themselves ramping up production to be added to all Allied troop rations. However, here we have another twist. You see, researching this, I found myself finding that there is in fact rivalry between the sludge lovers. I mean, some say Marmite is best, others say that the Australian and New Zealand counterpart Vegemite is best. So I dug into it, and here's what I found. In 1912, with discussions with British military leadership, they obviously wanted to add Marmite to all troop rations for the British Empire. So what do I mean by troops of the British Empire, I hear you ask? Well, at this time, the British Empire consisted of several militarised countries, all of which sent troops consisting of Great Britain, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and even India. The trouble here was that Marmite Food Company could not make enough quick enough. So they came up with a solution. They gave the recipe over to the British Military Command to have production ramped up in other countries. Ladies and gentlemen, here is where Vegemite was born. It is the same product made by a different company called Sanitarium Healthcare, who they took to heart the lesson that they learned from their other half that says, when you eat strawberries, it tastes better. They added sugar and caramel to stop it tasting like demon jizz. However, I have tried it and, well, it tastes like demon jizz, only slightly sweeter. Ladies, you tell us, do strawberries actually work? The thing is, it worked. It worked that well that British Empire troops developed different recipes using Marmite, many of which are still used today, and actually found their way onto Marmite marketing. They became that integral to the troops that the troops even repurposed Marmite ration crates to service different things, including Morse code communication equipment. I kid you not. Moving forward, Marmite was again significantly used as a medicinal product in the 1930s by a British homeopath, Lucy Wills, to successfully treat anemia in mill workers in Bombay, India. And again in World War II, finding itself not only in ration packs of the British Empire troops, but also being used in prisoner of war camps. Now, all of this I can get on board with. All of this says to me medicinal product. And let's face it, medicine never tastes nice. I mean, wasn't it Mary Poppins that said a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down? I mean, that's probably why the Australians added caramel and sugar to theirs, right? Maybe it wasn't because of the lady saying about strawberries. So how the hell did it become so iconic? Well, for that, we just need to look at the ongoing marketing. It's always the marketing, isn't it? Let's face it, thanks to 2 world wars, they had a captive audience for years. It was literally shoved in everyone's faces. It was in rations, used to guard against beriberi, yes, but it made it as a British institution, and for years they rode that wave. Yes, they marketed the product, but they were riding a wave of a memory of British institution. Then, in 1996, they caught onto something that really took hold. They realised that Marmite is something that you either love or hate. And they seized onto that, and they used that to sell even more, taking their sales to 50 million jars year on year. 50 million jars of beer waste sludge sold year on year. Let that sink in for a minute. That said, it really is a British thing. 87% of sales are in Britain alone, leaving only 13% as international sales. And even then, on that front, they faced some real difficulty. They actually got banned in Denmark. Admittedly, on a technicality, but banned all the same. Do you know what? We'll take that as a victory for the hater camp. We're not shy. We'll take that. So where does that leave us? Well, that's hard to say. I mean, we're talking about a product that probably should never have been. It's literally a product that's derived from beer brewing waste. So they'd have us believe. It's literally is jarred sludge. I thought that I would do this video and have some answers, something that would make me see it in a different light and prove to me that it's not jarred demon jizz, but no. I mean, I do in a sense. It's proven itself to be a great medicinal product, but I mean, ladies tell us it's got vitamins in. But why the hell does so many people like eating sludge? I mean, I thought I would find something that proved that it really isn't jarred demon jizz, and to be honest, I've not found anything that tells me that. I mean, waste product from beer brewing would be a pretty good cover if it was demon jizz, wouldn't it? I mean, I can imagine that being the case. I mean, yeah, hey there, Eustace, what are you eating? Oh, well, it's sludge from beer brewing, but it's good for you. Okay, as long as it's not that demon jizz again. No, it's definitely not that. I mean, the thing is, the lovers really do go mad for it. There's actually a fucking Marmite museum, a whole museum dedicated to this stuff. And the irony here is based on their current marketing strategy of using the whole love-hate thing to market their jarred demon jizz, that ironically has saved countless lives over the last 100+ years. This whole video is probably going to boost sales for them. So, in conclusion, Marmite probably is jarred demon jizz, marketed and sold as refined yeast product derived from the waste product of beer brewing, fortified in B vitamins, and a source of folic acid that saved lives yet tastes like salty man product. Yet loved by millions of people but hated by even more than just me. I'm going for some rum and a lie down. This world is nuts. If you've liked this, give us a like, a subscribe, and all that jazz, and just comment that I'm an idiot or whatever. I need rum.